Hello and welcome to the Barca Breakdown YouTube channel.
Let's go.
Yes, let's do it, guys.
First ever
video.
YouTube video.
How excited are you, Adam?
I'm good, Yus. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I got the blood pumping through me right now.
Me too, man. Well, we chose a good time to start, okay?
True.
Good and bad, right? I think it's a little bit of both. So we're on the international break. We're coming out after a period of just wonderful play, right, by the full Barca team. I mean, that last game especially with Dest scoring twice. Messi looking good, Alba looking good.
First ever goal for La Liga for Dest.
Very true. We haven't lost since December. I'm a little bit worried about the team losing some steam coming into this international break. At the same time, though, there is one big plus with some drawbacks, which is that Lionel Messi, because the South American World Cup qualifiers have been postponed, he's got a full, 2 weeks and a day break,
Sure.
right? Which should be very good for us. On the flip side of that coin, we have Atletico with Suarez, who got the same amount of break because he plays for Uruguay. So, a little bit of good, a little bit of bad there. I think I'm very excited to see international break because it's just super fun to see all of our players kind of playing with their different national teams. And then, since we've been on such a good start, we want to see some of our players continue that. And, I want to see our players in the Copa America. I want to see them in the Euros this summer, right? And then on top of that, I had a really good time watching Spain versus Georgia today, not even because the game was that exciting and Alba had 2 nice assists and, Pedri and Busquets, but it was cool to see fans back in the stadium, man. We were watching that game.
True.
We saw when Georgia scored on that breakaway before halftime. The fans went crazy. The end of the game with Spain scoring a late goal to win it was also very exciting. So I'm happy to see our players doing well, which they did, as we'll get into, and fans back. But heading into the international break, what were you kind of looking for our players across Europe?
I was really looking for a lot of these young players, especially taking what they've learned during their time in La Liga on Barca, translating that to their international teams. Yeah, sometimes they don't necessarily play the same roles like
True.
Frankie, but recently he's been playing in the back, right, on Barca. But at the same time, I just want them to learn things that aren't necessarily everything that they're doing at Barca, right? Because some of that will translate into our game, and hopefully that betters them on our team, and plus gives them a huge morale boost.
True.
Playing in their home countries, right? And that's just going to be something that I think will really make these players want to play better when they come back to Barcelona, right? They have the hype from international, like a couple of the goals that you were mentioning, right? And
true. I mean, it's a plus that they did well, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, if they didn't,
yeah. I mean, I think for me, I agree with you, man, in terms of having them, take a rest necessarily from the La Liga season, get some experience in different play styles. I think that's good. I was more player specific in what I was looking for, right? The first thing I think that's huge, Pedri, who, it's easy to look at Pedri now and be like, oh, this kid's a stud. Of course he was going to be as great as he is under the age of 20. But, he was playing for Las Palmas last year. He wasn't, on a high-profile team, had never been called up for the Spanish national team. Boom. He gets called up for this break, right? He makes a substitute appearance midweek, and then he played today against Georgia as a starter. Almost got his leg broken by a red card in the 93rd minute, right? At the same time, it's the Barca breakdown. We're big Dembele fans. I was excited for him to come out and show his worth, and I think he definitely did, scoring and just looking energetic throughout the game he started today and the game he came out as a sub midweek. Dembele, even though he's been doing good for us, and we've discussed how he's had the issues with his goal scoring and finishing, I really want to see him play this Euros. I think I tweeted out a few weeks ago at Barca Breakdown on Twitter. I tweeted out, oh my God, I can't wait for Dembele to be man of the tournament this summer. So it was important for me to see him come out and play well. And then on top of that, I think the last player, right, Yus and I, we're Americans. I wanted to see Dest play well, even though he was just in some friendlies. I wanted him to kind of continue the hype train from that last game before the international break where he scored 2 goals, and I wanted to see him come out, look hungry, and
boy, did he deliver, right?
Oh, what
beautiful
a beautiful
shot.
Goal.
Yeah,
I think that's the first player we'll cover, right? Dest came out against Jamaica, was the big high-profile match, and just scored a wonderful goal, right? I mean, he got the ball in his own half.
And he just dribbled it forward, created some space. We had space to begin with, and and it was kind of a Messi-esque shot, I would say, like the way he
and dribble.
He came around. He got a little curve on the ball, just placed it perfectly past the goalie, and I think it was just, I think that's part of what we're talking about, though, right? Some of these players, especially these young players, are taking what they learned in Barca, or they've been practicing and back and forth constantly with Koeman, and now they put it in this international game. He just it's like a natural recognition of exactly what he's trying or what he's looking for.
True, and I think you can see it in kind of how hyped everyone across social media, right? Especially with like ESPN FC, Bleacher Report Football, all of these more high-profile accounts that post a lot of Real Madrid and Ronaldo trash, which I don't think that's something for us to discuss today. But they were all showing the Dest goal, showing how great he was, and I think that's really important, right? And I think the next team we should go to is probably Spain. So I think we should talk about Spain, right? So Spain actually had a little bit of a tumultuous break, right? Because today they won against Georgia. However, they had to score in like the 92nd minute to just win, right, over Georgia, who are not that great of a team. And they actually drew to Greece, right, in the first game. So, they end this round of international break of the World Cup qualifiers actually in second in their group. But, here's an interesting fact. I didn't even realize this, but for the game against Greece, there were more Man City players starting than there were Atletico, Real Madrid, and Barcelona players, which was a little bit disturbing, right? In terms of our team, Busquets, Alba, and Pedri all started on the bench.
Well, they are a little bit older, right? Busquets, Alba are both, but we've been talking about how Alba's been doing pretty good in these last few games and making some great assists, and he showed that today against Georgia. His first assist came in the second half after they were down 1-0, right? And then the second one came, like you were saying, in extra time or overtime.
The first assist was a nice, just classic Jordi Alba cross, right?
Sure. The typical Messi Jordi Alba connection, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Morata got a back heel like flick on it, but anyways, he crossed in from the left side to Fernan Torres, scored the first goal. The second assist was really just some magic from the goal scorer, but nice pass from Alba. But overall, who really surprised, I don't know if it's a surprise, but who really performed well was Pedri. He had a really great game today against Georgia, and he was bossing the field all over, trying to get, he showed what he shows on Barca, which is so impressive, is that he has a great offensive game in terms of looking forward to make passes and to make runs, and he also does a really good job of ball recovery, of coming back and getting the ball. And so, overall on the Spanish team, I thought Busquets, Alba, and Pedri all played really well today. They didn't make, basically any appearance against Greece except for a few minutes from Pedri. And so, I'm okay with Alba and Busquets not starting every game for Spain, obviously, because they need some rest, right?
Sure.
They play a lot for us right now, and Busquets has had this revitalization this season, and so he needs to have more rest so that he can be in tip-top shape, right?
I would say he still needs a lot more work. He made some good assists in these last, good performances, I should say, in these last few games, but he's still not the Busquets of, 5 years ago or so.
Hey, once you turn 30, never easy to get it back, right?
Definitely.
Speaking of just turning 30, Antoine Griezmann, right, who I think has the same birthday.
Finally!
I think he has the same birthday as Koeman and Alba, I want to say.
Both?
Yeah. So he just scored today. He scored on, I believe, Wednesday against Ukraine, right? With kind of, it was in the same vein as the goals he scored lately for Barca, which are a little bit of, just a magical goal from the corner, right? It doesn't seem like he's scoring that many just like, striker goals, as you would call them, where he's in front of the net. Even the one at the, with Barca before the international break, it was actually a deflection off of a Dembele kick.
Sure.
This one, though, again, was a beautiful shot into the top left corner.
The one thing I want to comment on before he fought for that ball coming down. That was the biggest thing. And I was like, yes, I needed Griezmann to show that he's there to score goals, right? A lot of times you see him play a really great defensive game. He's on the ball offensively sometimes, but it just doesn't seem like he's fighting sometimes.
Sure.
But this goal, he fought for the ball, received it. There was a little question about where his hand was as the ball came down for me. But, he controlled it, and he put it away, which is the biggest thing. We need him coming into, we're not in the Champions League anymore, but we need him coming into La Liga. We're 4 points behind, right? Like, this is a thing that we need to see from him. We need this to be more consistent.
True.
We need him to
have confidence.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was a huge goal, but France ended up drawing that game against Ukraine, right? And Dembele came on as a substitute, and he was lively, but didn't really have that finishing touch that I was hoping for. However, today against Kazakhstan, right, land of Borat, he he scored the first goal, which ended up being the winner. They did score 2 goals. Griezmann, of note, made his, 45th start, which is a record for the French team, 45th start in a row. But Dembele got the ball, essentially lined with the defenders, kind of, just him one-on-one with the goalie, and he put it into the bottom left corner. And it was a beautiful shot, and, I'm very happy to see him score. Hopefully that will increase his confidence with his finishing and get him ready to put away some big goals, whether it's in the Copa del Rey final or in La Liga in the next few months.
The things I've noticed about this goal and the goal before was that when he kicked the ball, it wasn't just like either one, a dud that just rolled on the ground, right? Or 2, it wasn't a rocket outside the stadium, essentially, right? I think his ball placement sometimes is on point, but his projection of the ball is not always the best. And I think that's something that he needs to work on, like you're talking about with his finishing. But overall, I was happy to see him on the ball a lot. That was a big thing that I noticed, was he was moving around a lot more. We talked about how he likes to move sometimes from the left to the right. He kind of plays where he needs to be sometimes, maybe less so when Messi's around. But when he's in that forward position, he tends to get a lot of shots, actually. And I want him to take more shots.
True. We just need them to be on target and hopefully with a higher percentage, right? Which is, we've talked a lot in the podcast, at least, about how there's a lot of Dembele slander out there with people just really being overly critical at times. I understand it. He costs us a lot of money, but we're just hoping that the fans can be behind him and see him score more goals and gain confidence. And like you said, sometimes going on the international break and scoring a big goal for your country can make you revitalized and rejuvenated, and hopefully we'll see that for Dembele. I think in terms of other players from the break who had, which is not over, by the way, there's another round of games coming up midweek here. We just wanted to give you guys a little update. Braithwaite.
Great.
Lord Braithwaite, right, scored a wonderful goal. Kind of the goal I think we were all hoping for from Braithwaite in the Barca team, which is that, he basically got a ball headed to him, and he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper with a defender on his side, and he outpaced him, drove it through, and then did a nice little lob into the net. So, that's the goal I think Braithwaite is probably the best at, because he's really fast. It's just not a goal that we, as Barca, put him in a position to score often.
Sure. He's also not been able to come in as much, right? We've seen a decreased amount of play from him on Barcelona. But we also have, Dembele in our back pocket. We have no more Fati, so we can't bring him in. But it seems like Koeman has been kind of solid with his choices up front recently.
True.
So,
but we see Braithwaite as a sub.
No, we do. But it's sometimes not enough time for him to do something so spectacular even,
Sure. And, I hope we see, like I said, right, his speed was what kind of led to this goal. And, even if he comes on in, like, the 70th minute with some tired defenders, hopefully, there's some more room there for Martin to score.
100%.
Besides that, I think the only other high-profile player who had some games was Frankie de Jong. He played with the Netherlands. They had a little bit of a shocking upset against Turkey. And then I believe they beat Latvia today 2-0. Frankie, with the Dutch national team, plays definitely more – well, he plays as like a CDM, right? He's playing a little bit farther back and kind of orchestrating the offense. With Barca, we've seen kind of a mix and match of Frankie this season. Lately, he's definitely been in the back as one of the 3 center backs in our new 3-4-3.
The one thing I totally don't want to forget about talking about, because it was utter crap, right, is the Mingueza red card.
Oh, boy.
What kind of voodoo is this?
I believe it was the under-21 Euro group stages.
Correct.
And the Italian defender, right, fouls him, and then, Mingueza goes down because he hit him in the face, and then Mingueza gets up, and the defender literally headbutts him.
Right, and he pulls back. Kind of after
and
the
then
headbutt.
somehow Mingueza gets a red card too. It's just complete BS.
This almost leads me to think that it's not only the referees in La Liga or any other, European division that is the problem. It seems
They're
to be
all the problem?
Come on, right? Remember the VAR call just a while ago, the offside call that
Yeah.
we had? Like, I think some of these things just don't make any sense, right? Is there some money in the back of the pocket? I don't know.
Well, but if they're bad against everyone, it's hard
True.
to figure out,
Very
right, kind of
true.
what agenda. I mean, there was a very high-profile Ronaldo goal that didn't get
Mhm.
called, right? Portugal against Serbia, he scored in like the 93rd, 4th minute, and I mean, I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure where the ball was. We can put it up on the screen so people
Sure.
can see.
But
There's
let's
some
be
angles where it
honest.
looks way over,
It is
somewhere it
way.
doesn't.
None of us here are Cristiano Ronaldo fans, but come on, dude.
I don't know. There was
The
one
ball-
angle where it looked like
No.
it wasn't entirely over.
The ball was over the. Okay, think of it like this, and we had this before in Barcelona, right? We had a goal that did that.
Costas League.
Yeah, Costas League.
That Cristiano won. I think it was maybe the 16-17 season.
Yeah, it just imagine. I mean, it happened to us, right? So
Yeah.
at the same time, I kind of feel bad.
Well, I
that-
thought they had the technology to stop it, right? Because a lot of times, like there's some high profile. I think 2 seasons ago, Man City, Liverpool, right? Aguero scored a goal, and they have they do the thing like the ref can check his
Oh, yeah.
watch and then like on the TV they'll show the replay and they'll show where the ball is and they'll show the line and like the top
Sure.
angle. Like I don't know how they don't have that yet for international football. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Alas, really didn't impact a lot of ours, right? If it was against
Sure.
France or Spain, I'd be a little bit more sad.
Well, we're not upset necessarily about it, but at the same time, it's someone
It's a
got
worrying
robbed.
trend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because I don't want
It's
against
the narrative, as Adam would like to say.
well, I don't want against Bilbao in the Copa del Rey final for us to have something like this happen. Or could you imagine we play Real Madrid or Atletico
Sure.
in the next 2 months and we get
Which we will be playing.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
get screwed out of a goal that
For
costs
sure.
us the league. I just I can understand when the refs make a mistake live and then get it right on a replay. But
Mhm.
like sometimes, some of these things like a goal being over the line, we really need technology to help. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching our very first YouTube video. We're going to do some more. We're going to try and put out 2 a week at least for the month of April, if not more.
Tell us what you want to cover.
Yeah, tell us what you guys want to see next. Follow us at Barca Breakdown on Twitter, Instagram. Listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys.